Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Today, our show is brought to you by Henry Matisse, who says, creativity takes courage. Creativity takes courage. Okay, with that, we're going to get started, and we're going to head over to the May line. And we're going to go here, and I don't have a pencil. I'm going to look for a pencil now. Sorry, guys. I have to find a pencil because it keeps getting stolen off my desk. All right. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Get this little angled correctly. All right. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to take my normal... It's a scale. This is a scale. And I love scales. They make me happy. Okay. I'm just going to draw a couple of lines like that. We'll flip this over and put this right here. Hope everybody had a wonderful Turkey Day, for those of you who are in the U.S. I did. I hung out here with my family and had a great time. And it's just the three of us. That's kind of cool. Okay, we're going to redo that. There we go. We'll do this. And we had steak for Turkey Day because honestly, I've never really been a major turkey fan, but I am a major steak fan. There we go. Put in our 3 dots. All right. Now we're going to take just a normal number 4, 0.4, and we're just going to trace it. I'm going to ignore this top line up here because I drew it way too close to the edge, and I don't need to be doing that. Okay, again, make sure your elbow is not on the table. Make sure your limbs are loose. I'm going to just start here, and we're going to draw up the line there. Try to be loose. 2, 3, and 4. Same thing here. Just be loose. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll do the same thing with the long lines here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same thing right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. We're going to do just these guys right here. 1. Remember, when you leave here, you want to leave and then look to your arrival point. Look away from your departure point. Look at your arrival point. Because you don't worry about it if you are off the line. That's not the point. And again, here we're going to try to do some curves. Right? Try to pull when you can. Right? There we go. Today is the last day of November. Look at us making it all the way to the last day of November. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? All right. Now we'll move back over here. And we'll move back into the main camera. So today, every day, sometimes we all have days where it just doesn't, you just can't get focused. You're having a hard time focusing in and doing the things you need to do. And that's fine. Today is one of those days for me. I'm having a hard time focusing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on maps, because maps are good and easy ways for me to get things done. So this is a map of the local space. I mean, I have a lot of projects that need to be done. Ron's project still needs to be done, Ron Fortier. And I still have projects that are outstanding with Nate and with Chad. And I've got to talk to Steven. So Steven, if you are listening to me, let's open a dialogue, because I've got a couple of questions about what's going on with your particular project. We got to work on that one. But for right now, we're going to work on this guy. This is the map for my fictional comic, Bellatrix Rising. This is a local map area, and I've already done one quadrant because I needed to do story work, and I plotted out my story work through here. So this area is already done at this grid mark, but I want to go on ahead and make all of it done so that we can get to that point. So this is each one of these squares represents 10 light years by 10 light years. So you've got 10 light years this way, 10 light years this way. I already did this map once as a large form with a very basic setup like this, so we can get kind of an idea of what's going on. But I want to make that more detailed. So I'm going back in here and I'm just adding detail. The key things here is that on this map, the dark blue here represents, the darker the blue, the more dense the clouds are. And what that means is ships in Bellatrix Rising run by sail. So they are sailing along, so to speak, with these hyperspace sails. The more that they run into darker and denser clouds, the slower they can go. So we've got to map out where the denser stars are so that they, if I ever send a ship through here, you can kind of see that it's going to get, it slows down here, it slows down even more there, and then it really slows down through here, right? And then it speeds up, and it goes really fast and slow, and then really fast. And then it's normal speed out here. So it's important to have sort of an idea of where everything is. I have myself a grid that goes over this that gives me 10 light years by 10 light years on everything. However, really 10 light years on this map equals 16 pixels. 1 light year equals 16 pixels. 10 light years equals 160 pixels. So all I really have to do to find the distance between two stars is to take the ruler and go from point A to point B, look at the amount there, 87, and then divide that by 16, and that gives me the number of light years between those two. And so that's the easiest way to just deal with this map, is to figure it out. So, our hero's ship flies here. We now know how many light years are in there. 738 pixels divided by 16, yada, yada, yada. And that gives us the right amount, and then we can see that they're going to slow down. And then there's a multiplier for that. So the The reason I'm doing that, of course, is to make the story realistic. Right? All of these stars are already in, and so they don't need to be worrying. We don't need to worry about it. But I need to redraw the stars in this, and so all the titles and names have been changed to protect the innocent. All the titles and names had to be altered so that I could get them in here. So that's where we are. That's what we're doing today. Okay, so I'm going to take this outer ring. I'm going to change the color of my grid at some point in time, so that's why I'm not putting this all together right now. Right? So we're going to go through and we're going to do a couple of things. For one, okay. Now we're on the main map. Now I don't need to worry about a lot of this, so I'm just going to delete that right through there. And this is a lighthouse channel. Like that. Now all of this stuff that's in here already, I don't need to change, so I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it just like it is, so we don't have to redo all that any more than we absolutely have to. But I am going to clean some of this up. All right, we're going to come through here. We're just cleaning this side of this up. See, I had a black line. So we're kind of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over things that already existed. So I'm actually going to take this out too, even though it's nice to have it. It is inaccurate by about 1.5 pixels. So we're going to take that and move it out. All right. The only person on my show this morning is a bot. It's kind of sad. Makes me sad. Where are you people? Okay. I'm going to go through here, and I'm just cleaning this up because it doesn't look cloud-like. Right? So what we're doing here is we're just making this work. And we're just making this look cloud-like. Giving some swirls to it. right? Just adding a little bit of density in here to the high density clouds. There we go. All right. There. So what we're doing here is just putting in, I'm just cleaning up these clouds, right? There we go. And rounding it up so it doesn't look so much like it was exactly what it was, which was me drawing it, you know, way out in the top part of this. Adding points to these things. All right. Okay. There we go. What's interesting is, and I'm a firm believer in this, is that we have repeating patterns in nature. So you're going to get swirls and things like that where the clouds move. Everything moves in sort of a natural format. So, okay. Now let's take a look at like the rest of this setup here. The large map here shows a lot of different things involved in this that I'm just making better detailed now. Got some missing stars over here, so I'm going to come back in with black. I'm going to change my brushes setup so it's a hard round and 15. Okay. Now, these outer rings out here, And it's Frood. And that's a fact, Jack. I'm easily entertained. All right. There's Silver Cove. Silver Cove is where the first human settlers were, and they came from Earth. So we're moving forward. So these are just, I'm just going ahead and putting in all of the stars that are near us. There will have to be some conceit here. Right? So part of the conceit that we're going to have here is that this is not a three-dimensional map, and that's just really just so that I don't have to mess with it. I mean, I don't want to have to go up and down and do altitudes and things like that for each one of these stars, so it won't be 100% accurate. There's nothing we can do about that, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I mean, that shouldn't be an issue at all. Okay, looking at the Ariatis Passage, there's nothing out here, which is sort of the point, right? Okay. Over here in the Invalorum complex, we have Bandois. Right. There we go. Now we'll check across all of these to make sure everything is in. Moving along this side. Up like that. There we go. Okay. So those are all of our stars that are in the system that we're dealing with. And we'll add a few stars that we can't see. But we're going to go in and first we're going to put in all of these clouds, the cloud density. So the Hyades cluster up here is very much a birthing nebula. So we're going to need this color first. Okay. We're going to go in here close. We're in here. No. Why am I getting a select tool? Something looks... There we go. Oh, we have something screwed up. What's screwed up? Man. Something's going on. I have a control problem. I feel like I spend an inordinate amount of time doing this. Why are we on eraser? Oh, that's why. The tool switches by click. Okay. Okay. So all I'm doing here is that. Kai, are you muted?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're just going through here and we're following the outside here. Like this. There we go. So we've got these clusters in here. These are all a birthing cluster. Like this. There we go, just like that. And the little birthing nebulas like this, they've got a lot of like stars that are very, very young. And so All right. There we go. Along here. Just like that. I'm going to open a couple of other stars spots through here in the cluster so that there's not just nothing out here. Okay. Check to make sure that fills. It does. It fills just fine. Okay. So there's the Hyades cluster. And these two are the warring clusters in the story. So we're going to go through here. We're going to add a couple more stars in there when we get to that point. But I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, like the coma here. And this is where we're going to just add in, like, go through here and do this. If you're wondering what these are all doing, these are what we call stellar clouds or stellar nurseries. And why is it significant in this story? It's difficult to navigate these. So I want to make sure that I have a map that indicates all of this stuff so that I can accurately represent the distance traveled, spacecraft coming through here and traveling through this zone. But the so moving along here. There we go. I didn't capture some of these stars in here when I went out and did the other side of this. Now, the galaxy is moving this way. The stars are denser than the clouds. So what's going to happen is you're going to have the clouds moving this fast and the stars moving this fast. So they're moving faster through the clouds. What that means is, since this is the leading edge over here and this is the trailing edge of the galaxy, you're going to have little holes that trail this way. They trail that way. Well, the stars move faster through these clouds. They're moving like this through the clouds. The clouds aren't moving as fast. This is going to be a very valuable star right here. This one won't be that unvaluable either because they're on these arteries. Right, so we're going to just put these in like this. And these are just the holes that are created in the cloud. like that. There we go. There we go. Some stars will move faster than others. There. There we go. There. Okay, so there we go. And I've got this section here with all these stars in it. Now we'll put the Envolorium complex in. There we go. So just extending this out like that. Merry Isthmus. Here we go. We're just making sort of there, just like that. This is Benoit, which is destroyed early on in the war. Actually, it wasn't destroyed early on in the war. It was destroyed rather late in the war. There. This is a fact jack complex. Some of these names are made up. I made them up at some point. Some of these, though, are actual names of parts of these cloud units or areas in space. This actually is the fact complex. Visibly, we can see through a lot of these stars, or these clouds. You can see through them and see the stars. So, even though you've got a certain amount of fiction going on here, these stars are not fictional in a lot of areas. In a lot of spaces, they're the real stars. right? Farud, Adara, those are the real stars for this area. There we go. So we're just adding in the bottom of this cloud complex here. So alright, we're going to just go through here, and these are just little cloud bits that are outside of the fact complex. There we go. There we go. We're just opening up. There we go. There. So we're just adding all of these in. I think this is Farud. This is Markeb. These are all stars that were named by Arab astronomers, and so they've got very Arabic names. Adara, of which my bestie is trying desperately to write a story whose main character is named Adara. I think that's a very cool character name. So we don't have our there we go. We're doing that there. We'll move up into the upper part of the fact complex here. There we go. There. So now we've got this complex in. We're going to do this part down here. And this is like a Manhattan Island sort of thing going on. And I will be adding in, there's one lone star born in that complex. Not, a whole lot. There. I'll turn off that bottom side and make sure everything is clean and clear. And does that cover all of the pieces underneath it? It does look like it does cover every bit of the gray area that used to be on this bottom map. So we're going to go on ahead and go back in. And this point in time, we're going to go switch to a hard round. And the reason we're switching to a hard round is I don't want any action coming in from the action of the pen itself. And so we're going to go in here and we're just putting in cleaning up the outside edge here so that it's not on the outside of the map. Okay. Making sure that every star is counted from the original map, because there can be more stars, but there cannot be less.
That's actually really fun.
All of these stars here are disputed areas. These are all going to be war zones. Okay. Now we're adding all the stars in so that they actually work properly. There we go. So now the map represents all the stars. And what we're doing here is just trying to find all of the places and parts of this that make these complexes work. You can see down here I've got a lot of area that is like part of, different complexes and things like that. So it's interesting. My son had asked me about why right around the Betelgeuse zone the clouds are not dense, and I didn't get to answer him, but the answer is because the forces that cause clouds to form are gravity. So here we have all of our gases on a planet in a layer, and if you blow something up, it compresses gases. But in this instance, we blew something up and it's breaking up the gases because the gravity coefficient is changing. It's not changing a lot, but it's changing enough that the density is starting to blow out. So, okay, moving along, here are the things. This is political, so let's go in here. There's a couple of things I wanted to get rid of. For one, we're going to get rid of this cross line because we don't really want this cross line anymore, because this is a 250 parsec line, and that's a ridiculous thing to have. out here. So we're going to get rid of this 250 parsec line. Why do you think that it's ridiculous? The reason is actually because the rest of this map is done in light years, not parsecs. So it's silly to have that be on that map. There we go. There. So we're just cleaning up a lot of that. Make sure that 250 parsec line's not there anymore. We don't need it, right? So we're going to put in the grid, take a look at the grid. What we really should have is a range line at 100 parsecs, or 100 light years, and a range line at 200 light years, and a range line at not even that. So it doesn't quite make to 300 light years in this. But that's okay. So we're going to go here. We're going to turn on our okay. So we're turning on our lines. We're going to just make sure that our two lines are right at Bellatrix core. It's hard to do because Bellatrix is almost exactly in the center of this map. And there we go. There we go. So that's dead center. We're going to go out to the... Oh, this is hard to do. From here, this is difficult because we need to hit Control and Shift. Okay. And these lines are only 7 pixels. I'm going to put them on the outside like that. Right? And what this represents is 150 light years out, or 100 light years out, I'm sorry, from Bellatrix. So you can see things like this star right here, G.S.Davis, is exactly 100 light years out from Bellatrix, which is good. And then it tells us that exact idea. Where's 100 light years? And so we're going to put the next one. And this is 200 light years out. Weird, but okay. There we go. And so like we get stars that are exactly 200 light years out from Bellatrix, although that's a mess to get to. There's a lot of cloud to fly through in that point. All right. We'll probably bring this down. Okay. There we go. So I'm liking where we are here. I'm not seeing anybody online at this point in time. I'm not seeing any viewers or anything like that. So I think I'm going to go on ahead and just call it for the day and come back and see you tomorrow. That seems like a much better thing. I'm noticing I'm running out of battery on my microphone and things like that. So I'll go on ahead and see you all then tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and we'll be back tomorrow. We've got to do a project for Nate tomorrow, so that'll be good. Other than that, we'll see you then. Have a great day, and remember, keep your eyes in the stars. Bye-bye.